Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel for distance education. First, my name is Nada. Again, I'm an English teacher at Dua Daybuni School. Today is Monday, April the 3rd. We will have in our lesson vocabulary of types of films and grammar, present perfect tense in all forms, affirmative, negative and interrogative. So please take your paper's book, page 50 and page 51. So today we are starting a new model. What's on? First let's see a poster of vocabulary of films. Let's start.
Western, science fiction, the news, animated film, thriller, documentary, action film, comedy, musical.
So Western films are films based on cowboys and life in the west of the US in the past. Science fiction is films based on imagined scientific facts. And then we have the news. Animated films, thriller are exciting movies. Documentary gives are programs or films that gives facts and information about a subject. It can be a history, it can be geography, it can be science, it can be animals, it can be anything. Okay, musical are films with a lot of music, comedy, that films that make us laugh, and then action films. And now let's go to exercise number 1. It says listen, we listened, point and repeat, and then match. So what we have to do is we have to match between number 1 to number 10 and the pictures from A to I. Number 1, thriller. Number 2, science fiction. Number 3, documentary. Number 4, musical. Number 5, action film. Number 6, animated film. Number 7, comedy. Number 8, western. And number 9, the news. And now let's go to exercise number 2. It says read and say. So what we have to do is to read the sentences and then say which film it represents. For example, number 1, this has got a lot of action. Which film has got a lot of action? It's an action film. Number 2, this has got a lot of excitement and mystery. Number 3, this gives information about something. Number 4, this has got a lot of singing and dancing in it. Number 5, this is about cowboys. Number 6, this tells about what is happening in your country and around the world. Number 7, this is a story set at some time in the future. This makes people laugh. And number 9, this has got drawings that look like they are moving. And now let's move to grammar lesson, present perfect. Now what is present perfect? Present perfect is a tense that refers to an action that happened at an indefinite time in the past, which means we don't know what time of the action. We don't know when does it happen, or happened, or have recently finished, or the action have just finished, just recently finished. Now the present perfect forms. We have 3 forms: affirmative, negative and interrogative. So Affirmative starts with subject plus have or has plus past participle. So we do know have or has. Have goes with I, you, they, and we, and has goes with she, he, and it. For example, I have finished or he has finished. So the subject is I, the auxiliary is have, and the second example is the subject is he, the auxiliary is has. I have finished, he has finished. And then we have the negative. Negative starts with the subject plus haven't or hasn't plus past participle. For example, I haven't finished or he hasn't finished. And then we have the interrogative form. It starts with the auxiliary have or has plus the subject plus past participle. For example, have you finished? Second example, has he finished? And then the uses of present perfect. When do we use the present perfect? Situation number 1, an action at an unstated time in the past, which means action we don't know when does it happen, we don't know the specific time. For example, he has had dinner. So he has had his dinner, but we don't know when does he had his dinner, we don't know the time. Situation number 2, an action that have recently finished, an action that just finished. For example, I have finished my homework. I just have finished my homework. And then we have time expressions. We have just, yet, and already. Now, when do we use just? Just is used with actions that have recently finished. We usually put it between have or has and the main verb. We have an example, I have, so we have the subject I, have the auxiliary just finished. So just is between have and the main verb. I have just finished my homework. Already means that something happened earlier. We usually put it between have or has and the main verb. For example, we have already had breakfast. So we, the subject, have and already. So already is between have and the main verb. And then we have yet. Yet means that something we expected hasn't happened. We usually put it at the end of the sentence. For example, I haven't got ready yet. I haven't got ready yet. So as we see here, yet is at the end of the sentence. And now let's see some more examples of the present perfect. Let's listen to a dialogue.
I have just invited Kate to the cinema. Have you invited Sue?
Yes, I have already invited her.
I have just visited the museum. Have you visited it?
No, I haven't visited it yet. I have just had lunch. Have you had it?
Yes, I have already had it.
I have just made my bed. Have you made yours?
No, I haven't made it yet.
And now let's practice the present perfect by doing some exercises. We have exercise number 4, which says read and complete. Now read the sentences and then put the verbs in brackets in the present perfect. And then we have exercise number 5. These are scenes from the new comedy Mr. Pepper Takes a Trip. So let's listen to the recordings and then let's put numbers. So these recordings are from the new comedy film Mr. Pepper Takes a Trip. So we heard the recordings 1, 2, 3 and 4, and now we have to match the recordings to the pictures. We have picture A, picture B, picture C and picture D. And now continuing the practice, let's go to exercise number 6. Number 6 says George has invited his friends over to his house. So here in the picture we have some what he has done and what he hasn't done. So we will read the sentences and look at the picture and say which things he has done and which things he hasn't done. For example,
George has already bought a DVD. He hasn't made his bed yet.
so we will do the same for the rest of the sentences.